welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to talk about, organizing your utility closet, all of your cleaning supplies, things like that. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. Okay guys, so the first thing I want to talk to you about are things like mops and brooms and, dusters and all of those different things that kind of have handles or that can hang. I recommend actually hanging up one of those wall organizers where it has a bunch of hooks, and it also has the little spots where you can just grab the handle and either push it in and it'll hold it, or you like lift it up a little bit and pull it down and it'll hold it in place. But that way you're getting up all of those things off of the floor, and that way they're not falling all about, because normally, brooms and mops and everything, they'll just be flying. So that kind of helps to pull it up off the floor, which makes it look cleaner and more organized in there. And then having them all like lined up, again, just creates that more organized feeling and space, and it's easy to get to, you know exactly where they are. And again, it's just not falling everywhere. That can be so frustrating. So I highly recommend looking into that. I actually got mine off of Amazon, so I can link those down below for you guys. But I highly recommend getting those off the floor and sticking them to a wall. Okay, and then the second thing I did in my utility closet is put shelving in there. So for me, I have one of those vacuum mops, so I wanted that to fit in there and, still stand up and everything, because it has a base and all that kind of stuff. So what I wanted to do is have that still sitting on the floor and let it have its own space, but I didn't want it to be like in the way of other things, so I actually built the shelving around that. And I didn't have the shelving go all the way to the floor either, because I have some things that I have on the floor underneath. So as far as that goes, what I normally try to do is kind of create the shelving design based on your space. So again, if you have things that you kind of want to work around, measure those things, figure it out. Basically, you can just cut boards. I used the melamine boards, and you can cut those and fit them to size, and all those kind of things. So I recommend putting shelving in your space though, because that helps tremendously. And then I always do like bins and baskets and that kind of thing in there. I have a lot of smaller items for, my utility closet, and I have a lot of, similar things. For example, like light bulbs. I have a bunch of like light bulbs. What are you supposed to do with them? So I put them all in bins and baskets. So that way, first of all, you can't see in there. So that way that space is not looking super cluttered with all these little tiny things everywhere. But also, so that way it's all organized into categories. So I have a bunch of, baskets all the way down, and I actually have each of them labeled. So obviously that is one thing you have to do in your space, is label, especially if you are going to use bins and baskets where you can't see inside of them. But I have one, for like light bulbs. I have one for extra cleaning supplies. I have ones for, just like my go-to like cleaning supplies. I have one that's for the cats, because I have, like the like a hairbrush, for the cats, catnip, things like that. I put it all in there. So I have a cat bin. I also have a space for like manuals in my handheld vacuum. So I kind of make spaces for all of those, put them in bins, and then label each one, so that way you know exactly what's in each one. It keeps it nice and organized and clean looking, easy for people to know what's in there, and easy to get to things. So I highly recommend doing that. Now, for your larger, bulkier items, I normally try to make a specific space for each thing. So for example, like cat litter for me, I have that in a specific space. I have like bleach and I want to say it's like a peroxide or something, and they're in those bigger containers. So I have a specific space for those two. So those like go front to back, and it's labeled, just like some extra cleaning supplies. And then, like I said, I have like cat litter and then like cat food, things like that. So I kind of have a specific space for each of those. So that way they're not like in a bin, but it still is labeled and has a specific space, because you don't want, again, to throw things on the shelf, because that will get it cluttered and then you won't know where anything is. So having a specific space, even for your bulky items, is very important when organizing your space. Okay, so again, label everything. So as long as you're labeling things, it's easy for you and other people to know where things are, where to put things. So that way it's just it's an easier system that way. Plus you're not going through all the bins, you can just know what's in each one. And I feel like that is just so important when organizing any space really. But make sure with these smaller items in a place that people, you know, go to quite frequently for cleaning supplies and things like that, or if they, you know, do need like a light bulb or something, make sure they know like where to get one of those, how to get to it. Otherwise they're going to be digging through and making a mess everywhere. So I highly recommend make sure you're just labeling each of those spaces. I put it on the shelf like right below each one, so that way I know it is supposed to go there. Okay, and my last little tip is to have extra space. So what I mean by extra is, you know, extra cleaning supplies, extra, like if you have extra cat things that you don't want to put in there, if you have extra like wallflowers, for example, I put those in there, extra like, you know, Swiffer things, you know, anything that you have extra of, make sure you have a space for that. So obviously like you're going to have your main cleaning supplies, and I have those in a specific space, but then I also have all of my extras for whenever I like run out of those, or if I run out of, you know, something else, it's all in that space right there. So make sure you have an extra space. And I think that will help you a lot, to be able to, you know, look through there first before you buy something else. So that way you're not, you know, you're recycling and using all of your supplies before buying anything else. It'll save you a lot of, you know, money and time and all of that. So I highly recommend just making sure you have space for your extra items. Alright you guys, so that's it for this video. I know it was pretty short and simple, but if you have any questions or if you have any ideas, please let me know down below. I'd be happy to make a video about it. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Bye guys.